Hello, curious cats. Welcome to yet another episode of Rude Verbs. I'm very sure you're here for it. I am very much here for it as usual. Please ignore the singy on my face and my hair. It's all over the place, but what I say is more important than how I look. So today's episode is not actually a very big story or a legendary story or something which is big. Okay, so today's story is based upon something that has happened in my life, and I would really love to bring this perspective on the table for a lot of readers out there. Well, it's mostly for the fictional readers. Let us get into this story really quickly because I have to be somewhere. Last year in December month, I was traveling a lot, like literally a lot. I was also vacationing in this certain state. It was really great actually. Traveling does indeed teach a lot of things about people, places, cultures. I met a lot of people during this duration. Okay, most of them were good people, and sadly, unfortunately, I did meet some bad people as well. But keeping that aside, I am going to tell you the story of this wonderful man that I met. There's a thing about me that I carry a book everywhere that I go. If I'm traveling, if I'm going to my uni, if I'm vacationing somewhere, if I'm going to a friend's place, I do carry a book. And just to give you a picture of how the situation was, so there was this coach. It was very cozy. I was sitting on my seat. Unfortunately, there were not many people. I obviously wanted to read, and more people means more noise. So yeah, that was a good thing for me. The seat, which was exactly in front of me, got occupied by a man after some time. No one was like paying attention really, but then he was talking on a call, and then I got a call and he got done with his call, and meanwhile he just glanced at me, and I was holding a book. The book which I was holding was The Haunting of Adeline. He gestured for me to give him the book, so I did give him. After my call was done, he asked me why I was reading that book. Haunting of Adeline is kind of a dark book. Okay, it is fiction obviously, but it has some dark content in it. There's even a disclaimer note in the front of the book. He did give me the book back, and he asked me why I chose that certain book to read. In the back of the book there was done about manipulation and something like that, and he read that and he was like, why do you need to learn about such a deep topic? And that question of his quickly turned into, why do you read fiction? So obviously before he asked this question, I had laid it on the table that I'm a fictional reader, I'm an avid reader, I love reading books, I love crying over books, I love being happy about books. He got the whole gist. Okay, never ever in my entire past, no one has ever questioned to me why I read what I read. So I was taken aback. I was not just debating with him, but I was having this internal fight in my mind that truly, like, why do I read fiction? Why do I always end up picking something which has intense emotions in it? And at certain point I also told him, reading makes me feel good about myself. I feel like I have done something, I've achieved something after every book that I've read. Any form of reading at any point can teach you anything. You never know that. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing. It's upon how you perceive it. Any form of script or any form of reading that you do does teach you some or the other thing. He was still not convinced that why did I pick up such a big, thick, manipulative book. So basically he's a businessman, and he simultaneously does this mind coaching thingy as well. He then proceeded to tell me that whatever I'm reading, I'm putting it in my subconscious mind without even knowing it. Like, I'm putting things in my subconscious mind subconsciously. He was like, you should be really careful about what you are feeding your mind. Subconsciously, we do know that we are feeding our mind, but I think we all need constant reminders. So that man explained to me that whatever choices that I make consciously are gonna affect my subconscious mind, and since it's gonna affect my subconscious mind, I'm gonna think about it even though I don't know, I'm thinking about it. It's kind of complex, but if you really think about it, it's not that hard. If I want to explain that in my own words, then I would say that our conscious mind is a very forgetful one, but our subconscious mind is not. There might be some traumatizing events that has happened in the past, and our bodies and subconscious minds, they remember those things. If these events or if these traumatizing things or events are not healed properly, then they can get triggered by anything and everything, but we just think that we are crazy. In this situation, when I'm reading about books which has manipulation, which has dark topics, which has violence, maybe physical, domestic, mental violence, I might be triggering the unhealed parts of me. And even though if I do not have any trauma, I'm anyways attracting those things in my life, because my subconscious mind is gonna remember all those things. It's gonna store all of those things. No wonder this is the exact reason why I remember certain books so strongly. There are certain books which have graphically strong spoken content, and I cannot seem to forget those books. Maybe that's a sign that it's a trauma response, maybe that's a sign that it's not that. All in all, that man just said why to attract things and why to create problems that you don't have. That kind of hit me. At one point, he even went on to say that by reading these topics, you might lose empathy, you might lose trust on the people you love, because then you're reading about these certain situations, they're gonna stick with you, and there is a very thin line between what you believe and what is fiction. You will never know when you cross it. You will never know when you'll not cross it. It might happen, it might not happen, but then if you consistently read about such topics, you might get overthrown by these topics and you will stop trusting the people that you love. And I've always known this, you know. In fact, I have read a lot of books regarding this same topic. Maybe that's Power of Subconscious Mind, Law of Attraction, The Secret, The Hero. I have actually read a lot of books with the same topic. I mostly never thought of it in the way that the man put in front of me. I just wanted to bring this perspective on the table because I gave it a lot of thought. I was in denial for the entirety of the train ride, but then truly I have always cried while reading a book if it has some bad content in it which I cannot handle. So yeah, this was a really pretty perspective that I wanted to put on the table. For me, will I stop reading fiction? Of course not. Will I do some mindful reading from now on? Obviously yes. I have noticed that I have cried on certain topics. I myself give advice on my channel to read the disclaimers beforehand, but then I myself don't follow it and end up crying in the book because I can relate to certain situations. I overthink. I fear that the situation is gonna happen to me because I'm an overthinker. But all in all, this is what I wanted to tell you. This is the perspective that I wanted to bring to light. But of course, we don't speak baseless here. I did read 2 of the books. One of them is really, really beautiful. I just know that all the non-fiction buddies are gonna thank me after I tell you guys this book. The first book is known as Mind to Matter. It is written by Dawson Church, and the second book, which I wanted to gatekeep, but hot girls don't gatekeep. Well, the second book is known as Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. So I really wanted to know more about subconscious mind, okay? And like how actually am I attracting certain things? That is given in both the books. In Mind to Matter, it is given more scientifically, whereas in Psycho-Cybernetics, it is given from a more, I can't say emotional point of view, but then it is given in a more simpler text and simpler format. So Mind to Matter is for all the non-fiction readers who are hardcore non-fiction readers. The book Mind to Matter speaks about a lot of scientific stuff. The author, the whole team has done some scientific experiments and you get to read about all of that. There's biology, there's physics, there's chemistry, all of it in that book. So yeah, if you're this kind of person, if you have that taste, you can definitely read that. And Psycho-Cybernetics can be read by fictional people as well, because I really enjoyed that book. So beautiful. If you do not want to read the whole book and and invest your time in that. And if you just want to read the gist of it, I would say that you should go for the 8th and the 9th chapter of Psycho-Cybernetics. Success is something that by the end of the day, if you do not like the kind of the person you are, or you do not like the kind of person you are becoming, and if you look forward to improve yourself, that is success to me. And such people does own some good qualities, and this is the exact thing what is explained in that book, like the 8th chapter and 9th chapter. And obviously it is all linked to the subconscious mind, your conscious mind as well, the decisions that you take. Both the books, they talk about how your life does actually change, how your life is actually dictated on the basis of the things that you put into your mind. So today's Rue Reverb's question to you guys is, has there ever been an incident with you wherein you were feeling strong, discomforting and negative feelings after reading a piece of article or a book? These feelings can be anything: sweating of palms, or feeling panicky, feeling discomfort, because all of these signs can be you're reliving traumatic event and you don't even know about it. So whether you continue reading fiction or whether you're not, that is your choice, but do make good choices. Reading is supposed to be a form of entertainment for you and not discomforting to you. So, and if you're ever not so sure about whether you should pick up your next fiction or not, then please do read about the disclaimers that the book have. Hope you think about it, hope you reflect and reverb on it. See you in my next video with another story, another book recommendations, with lots of chits and chats, and another Rue Reverb's question.